Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of the North versus South FPL podcast featuring myself, State, and my co-host, Heath. How are you doing, Heath?
Yeah, good mate. Good mate. Considering my FPL score, I'm in a good mood.
And Watford as well, don't forget
Oh
them.
yeah, and recently relegated Watford, which is not official, but it pretty much is. How about you, mate? How are you getting on?
Not bad, it was a 4-day weekend, saw plenty of football, drunk a fair few beers, hundreds of Easter egg hunts. When you got a little one, God, I'll tell you what, I've had Easter egg hunts up to the height of Tyson Fury if I could
Do
ever
not
eat.
do not blame your son for the Easter egg hunt, mate. I know you. You've always gone about your Easter egg hunts every single year. Even outside of Easter, you tell me about how that you like to do that. And just because you got a son now does not mean that you can blame him on your
No,
addiction to Easter eggs.
of course I can blame him. What else is he for? He's got to be blamed. He can't. He's not here to defend himself, so blame him definitely. Blame him and the missus. She won't listen to this, so yeah, brilliant. Can blame them both, and they'll be none the wiser. So yeah,
Mate,
definitely.
is your son big enough to open the door? Because that door's slightly opening, mate. I think he can hear you.
Nah, he's fast. He's fast asleep. I just had to check the doors wasn't open because it's more likely to be the missus and giving me the death stare, and that'll be the end of the podcast very early tonight. Yeah, get to your room under the stairs, Simons. Yeah, none of that.
It would
Yeah.
be solo for Heath tonight.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Which which won't go down well with our many listeners. They would miss me terribly, I'm sure. So yeah, never mind. But now all's good. It was a good weekend. Lots of football, lots of action, and the FA Cup semi-finals were obviously big, weren't they? Liverpool were absolutely quality. Really, to be fair, and probably the reverse of the Premier League game the week before. Liverpool, City should have won that game and won it comfortably, and Liverpool probably should have won it a lot more comfortably than 3-2 suggests. But yeah, no, good football. So
Could it have been a better Easter weekend I say Easter weekend, but an extended Easter weekend with yesterday's result? I mean, if you're a Liverpool fan right now, the idea of getting,
yeah,
7 goals against the two Manchester teams. I know the beef between City and Liverpool is there, but the United Liverpool beef is off the chart. And that performance last night was,
yeah.
it was incredible, really, wasn't it?
I mean, United are terrible at the moment, not great, but you gotta give Liverpool the credit because they were absolutely fantastic. It were really, they were really good. Thiago just floated around the pitch like Legolas from Lord of the Rings. He was like an elf, just there he goes. Like he was everywhere. He was just picking it off. You name it. He was just making the passes. He was, throwing those arrows around like it didn't even look like he were trying. He made it look so effortless, and he were really good. And Liverpool just cut through United. But I felt sorry for a couple of United players. Phil Jones. He's played one game all season, and then he gets thrown in against the best team in the league at the moment. One of the best two teams, and just like, why didn't you give him some game time against Norwich if you were planning on playing against Liverpool? Maybe he wasn't planning on playing him, but he just didn't strike well for me. And the just everything. But United have got their problems. We can get onto that. Don't you worry in this podcast, I'm sure. But yeah, great result for Liverpool. And given we are recording at the moment during a live 4 games, we've got Chelsea 2, Arsenal 2, Everton 0, Leicester 1. Newcastle 1, Palace 0. But the key thing for Liverpool is Man City 0, Brighton 0. So and that's just gone half time, I believe. And so City at the moment are staying second, and Liverpool are going to be top. So could be a big night at the top of the table for tonight. So we'll see. But yeah, no. In terms of the show, what have we got on for you today, everybody? Well, obviously we'll be giving regular updates on what's going on in the live games. I know that doesn't affect you listening to it, but we find it fun. But we've got our game week review, which is obviously ongoing. We've then got the Michael Keane shit list, which is a maximum of 5 players. It's dedicated to Michael Keane. It's that shit list. We've then got the Mo Salah hit list, the North versus South League mini league updates. Then we've got our FPL podcast review. We are reviewing FPL Juice podcast. And then finally, we've got our game week preview for the following game week. That's basically what we got today. So just to give you a quick idea, guys, before we do this, me and Heath are only allowed to pick players from 10 teams each. I've got the 10 most northern teams. So I've got, Norwich, Wolves, Leicester, and all of the above from that. He's got from Aston Villa and everything south of that. So just to make people aware, if this is their first time listening, that is why when you hear us saying, well, Heath's not got Mo Salah, and you're thinking, what a douchebag. Well, that's because he can't have him, but he is a douchebag still. So
let's not make sure we get away from the point here. Douchebag is very much the category that I currently stand in.
Yes.
So that is very true. All right. But yeah, that's not because I can't pick Salah. It's nothing to do with it.
Anyway, so Heathy, game week review. Come on, tell me about what's happening with your team in the ongoing game week. What's going down with the Southern All Stars? Still a shit name, by the way.
Yes. So it's not looking too good at the moment. Dear. Okay. So
I'm looking forward to this.
The State gave me a fine this week as saying that I couldn't captain a Tottenham player because he won the quiz last week. By the way, if you haven't listened to last week's podcast and you're a big fan of Mike Bassett, England manager, I highly recommend listening to it all and then getting to the end at the climax of this Mike Bassett, England manager quiz. It was fantastic. And to be fair to State, credit where credit's due, he nailed it. But also, by the way, if you're going to listen to that, I would recommend watching it before you listen because it becomes funnier. But anyway, So when I said on the last podcast, I jokingly said that I should make Walker Peters captain. It turns out actually I really should have done because Carl Walker Peters has been my top point scorer so far. I was trying to be funny and clever, and in the end, I just looked like I say, a bit of a douche because I went with Martinez as captain, knowing that Martinez wasn't going to play. So then my vice captain fell to Harry Kane. He obviously didn't turn up. No assists this week, Harry. No assists. Couldn't be bothered. Outplayed by Brighton and Hove Albion. Yeah, all right, fair enough. Yeah, you are playing against two teams there, Brighton and Hove. But at the same time, no excuses. But yeah, real shame that. And it just made that little cheeky gamble kind of look a bit silly. But yeah,
made it perfect for me. Really good.
So my two Chelsea defenders are currently sitting on 0 points because they've both got an appearance point, but they've conceded twice to Arsenal.
No, Heath. Rudiger didn't even start. Not playing. He's on the bench.
Okay, well there you go. That makes sense.
Even worse. I loved it when I saw that lineup. I was like, Heath was expecting to up in double clean sheet here. That's not happening.
Well, in a way, I suppose I'm not losing out here because, the fact is he would be on 0 points. Irrelevant at the moment. So, yeah, James and Rudiger both on 0 points. Rudiger not playing. I don't have anyone coming off my bench. And even if I did, well, yeah, I don't actually because my two defenders are injured. So, anyway.
Keeper's coming off the bench, isn't he?
Yeah, Ben Foster's coming on with a solid 2 points.
Good on, Ben.
Carl Walker Peters, like I said, top scorer so far with 6 points. Christian Eriksen, you cheeky bastard. Honestly, I mean,
yeah, what a free kick, what a ball.
I do like him a lot. I think most people like him now. He's obviously shown so much character to come back from what he's come back from, but he was always a very likable guy anyway. But I brought him in my team a few weeks back, thinking that if he's going to be playing for Brentford at the price he's at, he's an absolute bargain. Probably wouldn't play him every week, but see how he gets on. He started to show some form, and what does he go and do? He gets the cheeky assist for the winning goal last minute against my team, Watford. Obviously, again, like I said last week on the podcast, the first thing I did see when I saw Brentford had scored, I did look to see who got the goal on the assist. And to see that Tony hadn't got either was a bit annoying and being booked, but we'll come to him. Saka, his form has just disappeared with Arsenal's. I think Arsenal got key injuries, I guess, at the moment that it's just not them for 6, and no Partey, no Tomiyasu. The fact is that Smith Rowe hasn't quite been there really with his fitness. Lacazette's now injured this week, so it just feels like Arsenal kind of feeling sorry for themselves.
Back tonight, Smith Rowe. Back tonight.
Yeah, to a certain extent, but not Saka, not so far. But that is what it is. And then Heung-min Son, can't be mad at him. The guy has been incredible recently. He's won me a lot of game weeks, so I'm not going to be mad at him. He got 3 points. Should have put the vice on him, really. Bowen, he had a couple of chances against Burnley, but Nick Pope was on good form, to be fair to
What a
him.
save! The save from that free kick move was it? I think were
That's right.
fantastic.
That's right.
Yeah,
Strong
but
left hand.
yeah, but then he made that great save in the second half. Did Nick Pope with the head from the header as well? But yeah,
That's
it
right.
was Bowen. Yeah, I mean, you'd thought that were going in most of the time, so you can sort of I could understand some frustrations you might have with that one. Yeah,
Yeah, and to be honest, like the fact is that I think sometimes in FPL, it's not always just about the points. It's about you're seeing enough to make you kind of happy that maybe they didn't get the points this week, but if they carry on getting in the right positions,
they'll get
maybe
some.
they'll get,
Yeah.
they get points in future weeks. So I was kind of like, not completely unhappy with that one, I guess. So James Ward-Prowse was my transfer in for Coutinho. He's so far just got the 3 points again. Surprisingly, getting a clean sheet against Arsenal, we got the extra point for that. But he didn't really do too much. And to be honest, I mean, I wasn't expecting too much. I guess I bought him in really for the Burnley game. But I think when you've got Ward-Prowse in your team, I think because his delivery is so good, you've always got a chance. And I did
Yeah.
think that Arsenal have predominantly been a team that struggle slightly against defenders and against corners, and obviously they conceded the way they did. Not quite a corner, but it was like second kind of play from a set piece. But Ward-Prowse had nothing to do with it, and the fact is they got Burnley. Both him and Walker Peters have still got an extra game, so who knows? They might go, give Burnley an absolute kick in and get me plenty of points and win me the game week. You never know. You never know. You never
Yeah.
know.
You're right. You're right. You never know. I mean, put it this way: Southampton haven't scored more than one goal in a game for about 6 or 7 weeks, I think, maybe even longer. So yeah, it's
Burnley are now that team though that you can tell that they've got their caretaker manager and he's thinking, I need to make an impression here. I'm going to go gung ho against a comfortable mid-table team. To their surprise, Southampton hit them on a counter attack and win the game 9-0. Turn that number towards them as a number they can enjoy rather than fear. And Walker Peters gets some assists, clean sheet, bonus. Ward-Prowse gets hat trick after hat trick. He just keeps on scoring. The guy, every free kick just seems to go in. Nick Pope's injured. I don't even know who Burnley's sub keeper is nowadays, but yeah, whoever that is having a nightmare. But anyway, yeah, Ivan Toney, he had a great chance against Watford. He took the ball very early on the half volley. Ball bounced up, he's hit it, and the fact is he's caught Foster off his line. It's gone wide, but it was one hell of an effort, to be fair to him. And that is, again, a bit like what I saw from Bowen. That's a sign of a confident striker, taking chances from outside the box, someone who's shooting from distance, that kind of thing. I like to see that. So again, maybe it didn't work for him this week, maybe another week. And then Harry Kane, again, a bit like Son, can't be mad. The guy has been incredible recently and he's won me a lot of game weeks. So I'm not going to get too annoyed at his 2-pointer, which is going to turn into a 4-pointer unless from nowhere Tottenham get some random issues with FPL. They've just worked out that they got the bonus point structure wrong with the Brighton game and some, late free bonus points for Harry Kane come in and, again, wins me the game week. Obviously,
he didn't even have a shot on target. And
yes, but did you see his defending, mate?
No, yeah, the defender was fantastic. Yeah, not a chance, Heath. Sorry. Your wishes, it's not fucking Aladdin. Don't be rubbing a genie and asking for that sort of shit. It's not coming on. Robin Williams ain't going to come on and say, I grant your wish. No chance.
All right, mate. Okay, well, I really, really hope that when I listen to that back, that is an impression. Because if that is an impression,
it wasn't. I'm not gonna dare. I can only do one.
You were thinking about it though. Be honest. You were thinking about it.
I can only do the Good Morning Vietnam one because, well, that's a lot easier to do. I'm not going to do that. But yeah, so yeah, it wasn't an impression. I did think about it, but I stopped myself just before it got really,
refrain. That's what happens when you become a dad. You realize.
You show a little bit more nous in the old noggin, and you make some slightly more mature decisions. But well, that's only when you've not had too many beers, obviously. So yeah,
obviously. So I did actually have a last minute decision where I was thinking, do I keep Lacazette or not? Because obviously he was rumored to be injured, and obviously now it's become apparent that he is officially. I think it says here that he's ill, so he hasn't played any of the minutes so far. Even if he does, it doesn't matter to me, because the fact is that he's not going to be able to come on for Rudiger if Rudiger doesn't come on. So yeah, it is what it is. Foster's going to come in for 2 points. That's going to get to 27. Then I'm going to get the extra 2 points for Harry Kane. So it's 29. I'm hoping, obviously, that I'll get at least one more point for James, maybe more. Who knows? You never know. So that might get me up to the big 3-0.
Well, they've just conceded a third goal of Chelsea. So
oh, really? Wow.
Eddie Nketiah has bagged 2, and I tell you what, I bet there's not many people in this game who have him in their squads. Never mind teams. I bet his pick ratio, his ownership percentage is low. I mean, I bet it's not even 1%. So we'll find that out for you. It's 0.3%. So I mean, and I bet out of that 0.3%, all 0.3 probably don't even have him in the side. He's probably at third sub at the moment. So yeah. He's in for a big haul, is that lad. And with Lacazette out, he could be starting a few games with a double game week coming up for Arsenal. So there you go. But yeah, you're not getting I think Reece James will be on -1, won't he, now, for another goal conceded?
Yeah, one more, and then I think he will be. Yeah. So we'll see what happens. But anyway, the whole thing is, it is what it is. And yeah, I mean, to be honest, I can just write this week off and then focus on next. Come on then, mate. Let me hear what's happened with you and how happy you are with what's happened.
I'm on 51 at the moment, 51 points. So I've got Van Dijk with a good steady 6, Trent with a steady 6 as well. Cancelo at the moment's on 1 point, but he's playing. So the City game's just kicked off in the second half, so he'll be due up to get 2. If he gets a clean sheet, that'll be 6. I've got Edison in goal as well from City. Hopefully they keep a clean sheet. If City keep a clean sheet tonight, you're not catching me unless Walker Peters and James Ward-Prowse both bag an hat-trick each against Burnley tomorrow, which I don't see them doing that. Midfield, Anthony Gordon's playing for Everton. He's got 1 point at the moment, so not doing much. He'll be getting a 2nd point shortly. Kevin De Bruyne, he's on 1 point. He's playing. I kept with De Bruyne. I thought, tell you what, I didn't think he was going to be out long. I thought they'd probably miss him in the semi-final of the Cup, and they did. Obviously gave him that extra time rest. I think, if you ask Pep what's more important, the Premier League or the FA Cup, he'd have said Premier League. So hence why he didn't play his best player in that game and wants him playing now. Mo Salah, big 19 points yesterday. Big Mo was back to his best. 2 goals, 1 assist, clean sheet point, 3 bonus points. I mean, obviously, I didn't think he was the best player on the pitch. Thiago was, but, that's not how bonus points get given. But he got a 19-point haul there against Man United to go with his 24-point haul earlier on in the season against them. So in 2 games against Man United in the Premier League this season, he has got 43 points against them. Wow. There you go.
Unbelievable.
That's not bad, is it? Not bad at all. So he's firing there. They play Everton this weekend as well at home, and you fancy him to bag a hatful against them because they're shite in general, but they're even worse away from home. So yeah, Big Mo's done well. James Maddison, I went for him captain double, on the hope that he might start both games, but I know it probably won't happen because Brendan seems to not start him the game after the sort of the European fixtures, and I suppose he's prioritising that. That's their chance to get into Europe if they can win the Europa Conference League, and he's a key player. They can't afford for him to get injured, I don't think. Although he nearly bagged against Newcastle when he came on. He's done that before, but yeah, he's playing today. He's at the moment got 3 points. He was close to getting the assist, but I think Iheanacho has been credited with the assist now. So it's not great in terms of a captain pick, but it could be worse. I could have Harry Kane coming in as my captain, so he's going to have more points than Harry Kane most likely. So there we go. Then someone who we'll talk a bit more about in a bit is Cornet at Burnley. He's on a big fat 0 points at the moment. We'll talk about why he's on a big fat 0 points shortly when we get to the Michael Keane shit list. Then Sam Maximin, he's currently on 3 points. He got 2 against Leicester. He's on 4 points now. He's got 2 points against Palace. Not really doing anything, but steady. And then the man, Timu Pukki, 9 points. Played well against United, a goal and an assist. So top work to him. Didn't get a bonus point though, fucking rude. How rude is that? I know Ronaldo got bonus points, and Elanga did because he got a couple of assists. But Pukki, a goal and assist. What you got to do to get a fucking bonus point, lad?
Should I give it to Kieran Dowell?
Yeah, Kieran Dowell, he got a goal and assist as well. So, but why didn't they give them both one then? I think Elanga. I mean, Elanga got 2 assists, but I mean. Seriously?
Because they won the game, isn't it? And
yeah,
Dowell won it over Pukki because he's a midfielder, I guess.
Fair. Again, I'll get onto it for the shit list, but someone else should have got the assist for the Ronaldo's first goal, not Langer. I know he passed in the ball, but someone else gifted it to him. And what were the other one? Did Langer get fouled for the free kick, or did he take the corner? I don't know. I think he got fouled for the free kick. He got an assist for getting fouled for a free kick. What the fuck is wrong with this game sometimes? You don't get an assist for getting fouled. I mean,
the rules are the rules.
Penalties as well. And I'm like, well, no. I mean, come on. Ronaldo still has to put it in from 30-odd yards, but he got an assist for that. Maybe a penalty, yeah, I can understand because, you're probably in a scoring position, but no. I don't agree with the free kick, being an assist. But I suppose if it's one rule for one, it's the same for the other. But yeah, 9 points from Pukki. So at the moment, I'm on a good sort of. I'm up to 57 points now actually. So because James Maddison's up to 8 points, that's good. So I'm on 57 and counting. And I expect if City keep a clean sheet, well, then I'll be probably over 70 odd points. And you're not going to catch me this week, thankfully. And then it's on to the next game week. So yeah, not a bad week. Should be seeing a bit of a slightly greenish arrow for me this week, game week. But we'll see. I did make 3 transfers though. I had 2 free transfers and then I made a third one. I brought Edison, Trent in, and then Gelhardt from Leeds and got rid of Calvert-Lewin, Kilman and Sarr. So I had 2 free transfers, so I've only taken a -4 hit for that. But it was essential to get it in the bank while I can.
Oh, actually, mate, there's a bit of update here. Jesus, this is big news. This is big news. I've just got over the 30-point mark. Thank you very much.
Oh, well done, lads. Congratulations. Which nice person got an extra point for playing 60 minutes for you? Reece James?
That would be Reece James and Saka. Forgot about
Well
Saka.
done, boys. Congratulations. You've made the news. You are now the biggest news ever on the podcast. Well done, boys.
Cheers,
well
guys.
done. You're welcome. And Heath can relax now. He knows he's over the big 3-0. That means he's definitely not going to be at the bottom of our North versus South League updates because 2 of our lads never get over that. So he's probably thinking, phew, that was a close one. Oh, yeah. So yeah. But that's my game review at the moment, pal. And yeah, all good.
Well, I feel like that we could probably sit here and revel in State's incredible game week, which is basically driven by Mo Salah. Anyway,
and Van Dijk and Timo Pukki and Trent Alexander,
but mainly Mo Salah, and it's just like it feels like the record has broken in the north, and it's just going round and round. But anyway,
next week when Kane and Son score points next week, I can just flip the table on you.
Exactly.
Not do well when
that's what we do on this podcast. We kick someone when we're down. We try and kick someone who's up, all right, and we try and bring them down with us. No, I'll drink my bitter, but while I do, we need to move on to the realistically, this could now probably be called the Michael Keane shit list. It could be called
big goal in the Premier League title race. Manchester City have scored 1-0. We don't know who scored it yet, but the update has come in. There we go. It's 1-0 to Manchester City. Sorry.
Thank you very much, Merce.
Give us an Edison goal. That would be great for the fantasy team. That would be really good.
He stepped up for a penalty. So yeah, we've got our shit list, which if you've not listened to this podcast before, basically what we do here is we give ourselves like a max of 5 players, things, anything really that we need to vent our frustration for this game week. And basically we've had to name it the Michael Keane shit list because Michael Keane, let's be honest, I think we could all agree that he's probably had the worst season of his life. He's probably having one of the worst seasons we've ever seen in the Premier League. And the fact is that every time, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he's made a mistake for tonight's goal. The fact is that every time there's a goal at Everton, it seems to have some kind of Michael Keane issue around it. But like I said, just before I was rudely interrupted by that goal alert, we could probably give it to Harry Maguire, to Ben Gibson. There's a handful. I tell you what, there's a handful of dopey centre backs at the moment, isn't there? That keep making weird, very weird mistakes. And just to see Phil Jones coming out the other day at Anfield against Liverpool, who are red hot form, you just thought, is this going to be given the Phil Jones shit list? But no, to be fair, he held his own, only conceded the 4 goals, and you can't really say he was at fault for many of the goals. But anyway, State, you can't have many on here, mate. I've got a feeling I know 1 or 2 of them.
I think I've got a full 5 here, pal. Full 5.
Then let's get going, mate. What are we waiting for? Crack up, buddy.
I've got number 1, Ben Gibson for Norwich. What on earth's he doing for that first goal against United? What a tool. He's absolutely
championship defender, mate. I think.
Yeah. I mean, after 2 clean sheets in a row for Norwich, so you're there thinking, well, they're obviously shored up a little bit. They've got, they've picked up a couple of wins, draws here, giving themselves, they've not got much hope, but they gave themselves, a little bit of hope, potentially. But, you can't be doing that, against, anyone, even if it's a shit Man United, you do that. Someone like Elanga takes it off you. He squares it to Ronaldo, and let's be honest, Ronaldo's not going to miss anything from there, is he? Never. So yeah, it was really, really poor from him. He did something else in the game as well. What was it now? I'll watch match a day. I've not made a note of it, but there was something else he did.
Was he marking Ronaldo for the corner?
Yes. Yeah, marking Ronaldo for the header as well. I mean, Ronaldo again good in the air,
but still, I mean, he's 37 years old.
Yeah, and did he make the foul as well? Did he do the foul on for the 3rd goal? I'm not sure. But anyway, he had an absolute nightmare anyway, did the lad. What a nightmare. And, you don't need that when you try and starve off relegation. Clear your lines. Don't do something stupid like that. By the way, Riyad Mahrez scored for Man City. It might be a KDB assist as well, potentially, which will be good for my dream team. But yeah, so Ben Gibson, you're on there. So big time. Next person on there, Paul Pogba. Fucking Paul Pogba. I mean, got booed by the United fans, so starts holding his hand to his ear like a prick. Look, you're a professional footballer. You're going to get shit when you're not playing well and your team's not doing well, and it looks like you're putting no effort in. So, you sort of, asking for that, and then doing something like that's not going to score you any favours. And then yesterday, playing at Anfield. Now, I tell you what, back in the day, the likes of Roy Keane, Nicky Butt, Paul Ince, Darren Fletcher, Parky Sung, all those players, if they'd have got a knock, what Pogba did yesterday, I guarantee you they wouldn't have fucking come off. They'd have had to have had their leg broken for them to come off in a game against Liverpool. Now, but Pogba knew they were going to get battered. He knew they were going to get beat. They were already 1-0 down by that point, I think they were. So he just didn't fancy it. He thinks after 10 minutes, I'm going to get off, let someone else come on and just, try and not look as bad. He went to him on the bench a few times, couldn't give a shit. And I mean, I tell you what, that's the problem United have got. They've got too many players who just don't give a shit about the club, who they're representing. And someone will say, well, it's about the manager, they're motivating them. Where's your self-pride in your performance and your effort? And it's just shocking to see. I'm not a Man United fan, but if I was a United fan, I'd be I'm putting my head through a brick wall on most days, and just try to sort of knock that sense out of me, go support someone like FC United or Salford City, down the road instead. Go be a Glory fan at Man City, you probably became a United fan for the 90s, the glory years anyway, so just be a turncoat. But yeah, Paul Pogba, shocking, really is shocking, I thought. And I wasn't happy with that. So that doesn't affect my team. So it's not too bad. The next two do affect my team. So Brendan Rodgers on my shit list, dropping James Maddison against Newcastle. What are you fucking doing, Brendan? Especially when I made him my captain. Did you not know that? Did you not get my memo? Brendan, Madder's my captain this week. So get him playing both games, get him doing everything, and make sure he gets me some points. But Brendan obviously didn't read that memo. Very upsetting.
Read it tonight, though, mate.
Yeah, he read it tonight, but that's not.
Oh, Madders hasn't read it yet.
No, it's not good enough. I want more, Heath. I want more. I'm not satisfied.
He's settling for that clean sheet, isn't he? That's all he wants.
Yeah,
So 3 points.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'll get 8 points from him for the game week, but I'm still, I'm not happy. I want more. I want more. So I wanted to humiliate you this week. I didn't just want to beat you. I wanted to humiliate you. And Brendan's caused that, slight issue. The other guy who's caused that issue is fucking Mr. Mr. Cornet. I'm going to call him Cornet whenever he pisses me off. And he
couldn't find the Cornet, though.
Yeah, he couldn't.
The Cornet.
Didn't even hit the target. What the fuck is wrong with you, pal? Shocking, and he took the penalty off Rodriguez. Rodriguez was clearly, obviously meant to be taking it, but he's like taking the ball off him. Because I know, he got brought down. He'd beat the keeper who was probably going to bury it because he'd done well actually to that point. But then the penalty is just shocking. Not only does Corner do that, he then concedes the free kick he also conceded the free kick for the West Ham equaliser. I mean, it was a stupid foul to give. The West Ham were going to put the ball in the box in open play. And at that point, you probably fancy Burnley to deal with that. But once you give West Ham a chance to, take a free kick, West Ham have scored a lot of goals this season from set players because they've got some big lads in there. He's got a chance to get Souček in there, the centre halves in there. So whereas during the open play, that foul wasn't necessary by Cornet. So he's had a real stinker for his team there. He's cost them an extra goal going 2-0 up, and he's then contributed massively in terms of helping West Ham get an equaliser with the free kick. So you're on the shit list, Cornet. Sorry. I've already gone back to doing that. But he could redeem himself by scoring against Southampton tomorrow. Final person on the shit list. This isn't for fantasy reasons, but it's Pep Guardiola. FA Cup semi-final. You've got, you could be going for a treble. Now, obviously, Kevin De Bruyne is injured, so he's named on his bench. No problem with that. Why are you not playing your main keeper? Now, I know people say, well, the other lad's been playing through the previous round, so it's unfair. Balls to that. I'm about winning games, and you play your best, as good as a team as possible, especially when you're playing against your main rivals for all the other trophies. It's not just Liverpool that you're competing with for the FA Cup. You're also competing with the Premier League. You're also there's a big chance you could be playing them in the final of the Champions League as well. It's massive. You should have been playing Ederson in goal. You should have been playing as strong a team as possible. I think Diaz as well should have played. Who knows? But I just think that he got it massively wrong there. And obviously the keeper had a stinker for Mane's goal. Which was massive. That doesn't happen if Ederson's in net. Doesn't happen at all. I know this reliance on keepers playing out is dangerous and it's risky and that can happen, but Ederson don't let that happen. Alisson don't let that happen either. And, that was the difference. Alisson made a couple of good saves at key moments as well. So it's, Ederson's in net for Liverpool, for City. That second goal don't happen. And, I'm not saying it necessarily would have meant Liverpool wouldn't have gone and won the game because they were played really well and deserved the win, but that could have just made that difference. City don't go 2 down, then they can regroup a little bit better. They're not on constant. They're not under the intense, that they were under maybe, and that could be it. But I think Pep just got it wrong in terms of his selection there, with a very, very key position. Your goalkeeper is your mainstay. You play your best goalkeeper every game of the fucking week, in my opinion. You don't look at anything else other than that. So yeah. But you know, never mind. It's done with now. You know, I'm over it. It's not affecting my FPL team.
Mate, I think. All right. So Doc Brown's at the door, right? Doc Brown's the time machine's outside your door right now. You jump in. Doc Brown says, "Where are we going? All right, I want to go back to the weekend. Right, I want to speak to Pep Guardiola. I want him to rethink his team." Pep Guardiola then goes and puts Edison in the team, Kevin De Bruyne in the team. He puts João Cancelo in the team. Man City go on to win that game, but there's a clash in the middle between all three of them. Ball goes up in the air. Edison comes running out. KDB's running back. Cancelo's in the middle. Bang! All three of them go down. Who would be first in the shit list? Pep Guardiola. Why are you picking all these three players? And the FA Cup went, don't mean fucking shite. You've got to be picking. It's all about the league. It's all about the league, Pep.
Semi-final time is about winning trophies now. So now I wouldn't have been saying that. Maybe some City fans might have been, but yeah, not this man, not this cat. Tell you that now. So yeah, so that's my shit list, mate. It's taken longer than you expected, I bet. So there you go. But that's my list this week. So yeah, there were no other close ones really. To be fair, I didn't really have anything else. I mean, the only thing that I think actually that were it. To be fair, there was nothing else to complain about too much on that one. Man City 2-0 up, by the way. Phil Foden. I don't think Liverpool are staying top of the league for much longer today.
That's it. Yeah. Doubt Man City at your peril. The fact is those guys are incredible, really, aren't they? The levels that City and Liverpool are showing at the moment is pretty scary.
Ridiculous. They're ridiculous.
It's a good thing that, you know, Watford have done with both of them and they haven't got to play them this weekend, you know?
Yeah. That's very nice. Yeah,
it's quite a good segue there, because obviously the first player on my shit list, I think that there must be something that the Watford owners must have thought when they looked at this guy and thought, oh, we love this guy, he's a fantastic playmaker, get him from Nantes, you know, bring him into Watford. His name is perfect for Watford at the moment, Imran Loser. And last minute of the game, Imran, you have the chance, mate. I know it's in your weaker foot, but just have a bit of composure. Take your time. You're a composed football player. Don't rush it. Don't thrash hit it. Just put it in the empty net. I know there's a couple of defenders on the line, mate, but you've got the skills. Take it on the outside of your left foot if you've got the chance. Can you do that? No? Okay, right foot, fine. Just calm. No? Okay, you've missed it. Okay, Brentford have scored. Brilliant. Okay, that's 3 points gone. And now we've lost the game and we're pretty much down. Brilliant. And it's all down to a guy called Loser. So you couldn't really write that, really. And we have done. So there you go. But that's the first person on my list. The second is, I guess, continuing on from that, is North London in general. I mean, it's not just North London. It's the north of London as well. I have to include Watford in this. Arsenal, Spurs and Watford. All of them letting me down this week. I think Arsenal have been letting me down. Watford have been letting me down, but Spurs have been, you know, kind of coming back. They've had a renaissance, but they've still got it in their locker, haven't they, to have a stinker?
Yeah.
Brian, to be fair to them, obviously they're a very good side. They deserve to be where they are this season. They finally kind of got it. What I like about Brighton is they've got a lot of players that people hadn't really necessarily heard of. I hadn't heard of some of them before, but they've come in. They've got some talented football players. The fact is that Brighton are a smart team. They're an interesting team to watch, and they've got a result in them like they have. And good luck to them. Pleased for them.
Definitely.
But yeah, they I think all of the North London teams and north of North London let themselves down, let me down. And finally, I guess we've spoken a fair bit about Manchester United, but let me really spell this out to everyone listening right now. 32 points. 32 points Manchester United have cost me this week. Not in my team, in State's team. 32 points from Van Dijk, from Alexander-Arnold, from Salah, and Tibu fucking Pukki. Man United. Jesus Christ, guys. Like, what a terrible double game week in the sense of conceding points to teams. So, yeah, I'm pretty disappointed with
points,
them.
Actually.
40?
Yeah.
Well, no, I guess what I'm trying to say is that all of those players would have just got 2 points, right, in a standard game week.
Extra points. Yeah, okay.
So extra points. I did sit here and try and do the maths, and when you just said 40, I was like, oh fuck, I got it wrong. But no, yeah. So the fact is that they got extra points. So I am just sitting here. I'm not going to pick out any individuals like Harry Maguire or Paul Pogba or anyone like that. They're a really, really poorly run football club at the moment. Everyone can see that. The whole world can see that. And I have to say one thing. Quite a few podcasts back, I remember saying, end of the day, what are these United fans protesting about? They've gone out there, they spent all this money. One thing I wasn't 100% clear on was that how United have spent their money. And the fact is now I've kind of read a bit more, I've listened to a bit more about what's happened at Man United, and I understand now that the Glazers have put Man United in severe debt and then given that cash from that debt to buy players. And now Man United are in a terrible place financially, and the Glazers are obviously basically sucking the life out of United. So to United fans who might have listened to this podcast maybe a couple of months ago when we were slagging off the protesters, then my apologies for not completely understanding. But now I can sit here and go, yes, I get why you must be so frustrated. Before the Glazers came in, there was no debt whatsoever. The fact is the club wasn't in a perfect place, but it was still in a better place than it is now. However, the protesters are still going to be on my shit list. Why? Because some of these numpties who are walking along protesting against the owners are the same numpties who are buying the replica shirts this season and last season and the season before with their names on the back and all, spending
buying
how
tickets,
much money.
going to watch them still. Yeah.
Like the fact is that, I get it. You're not happy and you want your club back, but there's other ways of doing it. Think about it. You're being a massive hypocrite by parading the new football kit. Man United's kits, to be fair, quite nice. I like them, But if you're absolutely despising the Glazers, you're not putting any money back into their pockets. So what are you doing? That.
I'll tell you what, though, big question is, if they were winning things, if they were top of the league, competing for Champions League, winning trophies left, right, and centre, would they still be protesting?
I think the answer to that is yes, but there probably wouldn't be as many, because I believe the argument is that when they won the Europa League and I think they won the FA Cup, there were protests around that time too. So I think what makes it worse is that if right now Arsenal and Chelsea were winning the league or the trophies around them, it probably wouldn't feel so bad. But add the extra, their two worst enemies, their local rivals in Liverpool and Man City, are basically out of sight, nowhere near them. That must really throw salt into the wounds. The fact that Old Trafford, as big as it is, as impressive as it looks from an outsider looking in, it's a ground that's falling apart. Doesn't have the maintenance that it should do for such a big ground, for such a big club. Things like that you don't even think about really as an away fan. The fact is that it really is just a horrendous place to be at the moment. If they go and win the league next year or something, which really won't happen, but if a miracle happened and they would almost have to have a Leicester type season. But Eric Ten Hag comes in, he changes things, he gets the right players in, they turn themselves into title contenders, they win the league. I don't think there will be as many protesters, but I still do think there will be some who will be protesting against them for as long as it takes, because it just sounds like the Glazers are, what's wrong with Premier League football, I guess. It's to them, it's a business, it's not a hobby. They have basically ripped kind of a club of the magnitude of United apart by doing what they're doing. And I don't know how you are about Rotherham and about their owners. We have Watford have half the fan base, or I don't know if it's a half, but there's a lot of the fan base who are very frustrated with the owners because of the way that we do our business. When we were doing well, they were very quiet. It's not quite the same as it is, United, but there are a lot of people who are frustrated because we've had an awful season this year, and the only people to blame really are our owners, because we've had enough managers. You can't blame the managers. The players are really to blame for me personally, but at the same time, that's just my personal opinion. And the way I see it is that the helplessness as a fan, when you think of all those years you've put into supporting the club, and you literally can't do anything about the fact that it's just going completely wrong. But there is definitely an element of they've had it so good for so long that it must be quite hard to take that they're, only getting into the Champions League and only getting to the FA Cup, semi-final or final, or, end of the day, it could be a lot worse. But yeah, the protesters have to be on the shit list, though, because of that hypocrisy. Really, it's pretty dire to see that. I just honestly, I mean, there was one guy, I think he had like the name on the back of his shirt. It was like 69, and it was like Master Beanio. It's like some like 40-year-old guy, like
Brilliant.
overweight United fan, and I just thought, Jesus Christ. You Northerners, you love it, don't you?
Yeah, we definitely do. Oh yeah.
But yeah, so no, they definitely make an appearance in the shit list. Their club and their supporters. So that's my shit list, really. I'm not going to go too far into it. I think I've done. I've kind of gone on long enough, to be honest. So yeah, that's all I've got.
Fair enough. No, good shit list, buddy. Really good. I'm mightily impressed with that one. So yeah, very nice indeed.
Update.
An update. Oh well, not much has changed. 1-0 Leicester in the 91st minute. 1-0 Newcastle 92nd minute. City 2-0 up. There is a penalty at Arsenal Chelsea. Bukayo Saka has been brought down in the box, and there's a penalty, so he's got a chance of an assist here as Saka.
Will he take it? Who's going to take it?
Well, if Nketiah is on the pitch,
still, give it Nketiah.
He might get for an hat trick. I don't know if he's still on the pitch though. But if not, I believe it's been scored because it's just updated. Oh no, Saka's got up and taken it and scored it as well. So
beautiful.
There you go. Saka with a goal.
The comeback is on.
The comeback is on. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, well done, Saka with the goal. 4-2.
Jesus Christ, that's unbelievable.
Big win for Arsenal. It puts them back level on points with Spurs. Same amount of games played. And we have got an North London derby still to be played, I think, haven't we? So
that's going to be juicy.
I mean, Arsenal got United obviously this weekend. Brentford have got Spurs. Obviously, Arsenal United usually quite a tasty game, but given now United are at the moment, you fancy Arsenal. Brentford are playing well at the moment, but I think Spurs are more suited to playing away from home than they are at home. Actually, the way they play these days. So I wouldn't see Spurs having too much of a problem there. But yeah, I mean, yeah, there is still the small matter of Spurs Arsenal, I think, which is, I think it's sort of middle of May time or something. So that could be a decider for that top four spot potentially. That could which would be great. To see it go to that sort of lengths really. If truth be told, you want to see things to be played for. I mean, Chelsea, losing today, they're still 5 points clear of of Arsenal and Spurs, but that 5 points could slowly dwindle down if they lose a couple more. Oh, Everton have equalised. Everton have got an equaliser against Leicester. Come on, Anthony Gordon, make it happen. If it's him, then that'll be nice. But yeah, no. So that's the updates at the moment. But yeah, City cruising to a victory. Arsenal now cruising 4-2 in the 94th minute. Yeah, Everton look like they've equalised. Newcastle look like they're holding on for another big 3 points. Eddie Howe, what a job he's done, really. Which you can't really fault what he's done since he's come in. He's really got them into a strong position to push on for next season. They sign a few more players. Who knows? They could be doing what the likes of sort of West Ham have been doing and Wolves pushing, because there's plenty of vulnerability up there. And it's your man Richarlison who's equalised as well. It was his 50th chance of the game, and he's finally put one in the back of the net. So
it's a big the third as well.
Well,
Silva, Bernardo,
good old Bilba. But that's a big point for Everton if they hold on there, because it puts them 4 clear of Burnley. Burnley play tomorrow. if Everton lost today and Burnley won tomorrow, Burnley would have gone above them on goal difference. So it is a massive goal that is for Richarlison and for Everton. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But yeah. What's next then? What are we up to? What's going down? It's the Mo Salah hit list, isn't it? Next.
That's correct. That's correct, mate.
So the Mo Salah hit list, guys. We recently named this hit list the Mo Salah hit list. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. It's a hit list. It's all about picking 5 players that you should be really having in your team at this moment in time. Yes, there's obvious ones in there, but there's ones that it's our opinion as well. These are, so don't take it as in you have to go and do that and then blame us for making you make 5 or 10 transfers, because I focus on the north, he focused on the south. So we're giving you 10 players here to maybe look who we think you should be looking out for. But like I said, that is in no way an invitation for you to go and put all those 10 players in your team and make 10 transfers, because that is not our fault. If you're stupid enough to listen that closely to us, that's your problem. Okay, we're just the messengers. Okay, so Heath, who's on your hit list?
I've gone rogue, mate. I've gone rogue.
Fucking rogue. You better not pick the Northern, otherwise I'm going to kick your head.
Yeah, I've gone proper rogue. I've decided that. Do you know what? Sod the FPL. Sod them all. Can't be asked for that shit. Let's look at the Football League for next year, right? Let's get my focus in the game. So my first player that I'm going to pick for the Mo Salah hit list is well, actually, it's a collective, really. It's Fulham and Alexander Mitrovic. So they obviously had a convincing win against Preston North End. That means that they are now officially in the Premier League for next season. Alexander Mitrovic, with 40 goals this season, will be counting will be that player that everyone sees at 6.5, 7, 6 million, something around that range. And everyone will go, I make this mistake every single year, and he's in my first game week squad. But the fact is that, we can all make that mistake. As Fulham are going to be in the southern section, I warmly welcome them and congratulate them for pretty much smashing that division quite comfortably. I can't remember, apart from maybe Newcastle, seeing a team like win that division. So, I mean, they might not even win it technically, but they've apart from a couple of games recently, and maybe a couple of games around Christmas or something like that, Fulham have just been incredible, and they've just I guess they've spelt out that difference between the Championship and the Premier League.
I think the thing with Mitrovic as well, he hasn't got a terrible record in the Premier League. I mean, obviously, last season he only scored like 3 goals, but I think he had a lot more sub appearances last year than he had done. Whereas the previous time for him in the Premier League, he got 11 goals in a relegation team, not bad. He scored 9 goals in his first season with Newcastle, not terrible. So I think he will be one of those that'll probably, because he scored 40 plus goals, he's probably going to come in around the 7 million mark. But I don't think he's people are going to have to replace Timu Puki with somebody who can score goals, who might be a bit cheaper. That could be it. Who knows?
Definitely. So we move on to another Football League player. This one
is definite rogue, guys. So
this one is from your favourite team, mate. This is Barry Bannon for his goal versus the MK Dons. By the way, guys, I know what you're thinking right now. State said in the introduction, these are players that you need to be picking for the FPL. I not this week, guys. Not this week, all right? I've had a stinker. I've had a stinker in the FPL. I've had a stinker. My team's getting relegated. So I'm focusing on Football League for this week and this week only. I'm going against the rules. I'm just picking 3 players that I want to talk about who need to be on our hit list, not on the hit list. All right. So just forgive me this week. Anyway, Barry Bannon, what a goal versus MK Dons. Incredible. The fact is, the guy's got, he's got one hell of a finish on him. For a little guy, he can strike the ball. But the fact is, the way he hit the ball, it was one of those ones, bit of a Roy of the Rovers kind of moment where you just think it's set up perfectly for him. It's on his left foot. He's got a lovely left foot, and he's just smashed the ball over the keeper. And to be fair, it's just, I mean, it's one of those ones. You just know if you play football, no matter what level, when you hit the ball so well, you know it's got a chance. It's probably going in. You know it from the moment it's touched your boot that it's probably got a chance. And then that moves on to who would have thought it, right? An even better goal from another rejected ex-Premier League player in Jack Colback against West Brom. I mean, if you're West Brom, the fact is that what we just said about Fulham, there is this huge divide between the Premier League and the Championship. Fulham have shown it, West Brom were showing it, and now it just seems to be all falling apart. But did he mean it? Who cares? The fact is, the guy, just from a cheeky little throw, 1-2, gets the ball back, thinks, do you know what? I'll launch this into the box with a bit of pace, and it's just flown in. You know, that is, I mean, I don't know if he's playing left back again. You know, I'm one of those football fans that once when we're in the Championship next year, I'll know all about Nottingham Forest if they don't get promoted. I mean,
yeah,
I suppose they could get promoted, but the fact is that whoever is down in the Championship with Watford next year, I'll know all about it because that's how it rolls. But right now, where we're in the Premiership, I'm one of those who looks down on the Championship. Next season, it'll be the best league in the world, the most entertaining league in the world, without a doubt. Anyway, so that's my hit list this week. Is Alexander Mitrovic for 40 goals in the season, Barry Bannon for one of the goals of the season in League One, and Jack Colback or goal of the season in any league, probably. So yeah, that's me. Oh, and Bukayo Saka, because of he saved my blushes a little bit tonight. So he actually goes on there for just being, you know, I take it back what I said earlier about your form, Bukayo. Yeah. So well done, mate. So Stay, how about you, mate? What's happening on your hit list?
My hit list. So I've gone for I mean, again, you know, hit list is all about hindsight, you know, if we know these things beforehand, but this one should be obvious, and you know, he's got a 7.7% sort of team selected by percentage, which I just don't think is high enough, especially given the fact that strikers in this game are all midfielders, basically. You know, there's only a few strikers, really. You know, Keane, Ronaldo, obviously, when he turns up once a month. Timo Werner's turned up this month, it seems. So there you go. But, you know, and Kane's only turned up since sort of January. So, and Vardy started the season well, but has been injured since. So there's a very limited amount of strikers out there scoring goals and getting points. Now, Timu Pukki, if you've not got him in your team, you need to be having him in your team. He's 6 million at the moment. I mean, given his form, his price might be about to go up slightly. But I mean, look at this. In his last, you know, in his last 6 games, he's got 4 goals, 2 assists. So he's only had 1 game where he's not got a goal or an assist in his last 6. You know, and they've played against Chelsea, they played against United, and that. Pukki's, and he's, you know, if you watch him play, he's playing well, and they're playing against teams where he's going to still keep getting some chances and still creating things. So I think you've got to be looking at Pukki, especially given the lack of forwards in this game, because they're all midfielders. You know, then Timo Pukki's got to be someone that you got to be having in your team if you're not, folks. It's 6 million. It's no for a striker, is 6 million, and he's got 124 points this season. You know, so I just don't. You know, if you're thinking, right, well, who am I going to play as a striker? He plays every game. You know, out of the strikers, he's got the 5th best score in points in the game, and his form at the moment's good. So I think, Timo Pukki is definitely one to be on the hit list for people. So yeah, definitely be looking at him. Now, given obviously Heath's renegade on this hit list this week, and decided to spit his dummy out because he didn't want to find anyone because he's been shit. I'll throw in a southerner there. You know, I mentioned him already, but you know, Timo Werner he's hitting form at the moment. You know, he's scoring some goals in Europe. He scored 2 against Southampton in the 6-0 win. He scored against Arsenal today. You know, he's working hard. I think, you know, at the end of the day, he's expensive at 8.6 million, but if you were thinking of, not that you will take Kane out, but say if you don't fancy your striking, you've got a bit of money, then he could be someone worth just putting in. It'll be a bit of a differentiator at the moment because he's owned by, I think, around just over 2% of teams. So if you're in a league and you're looking for someone different, I would imagine he wouldn't be a bad shout, because especially with the next game week coming up, Chelsea have got double game week. They're playing West Ham at home, who aren't keeping clean sheets, and they're playing Man United away. And Man United aren't keeping clean sheets either, and he's got a lot of pace. So a double game week coming up. They've got 2 double game weeks of Chelsea before the end of the season. So Timo Werner could be a great shout to try and get in there. To do that. Other Chelsea players to look at would probably be like a Mason Mount. I would imagine he's picking up a bit of form again. But yeah, that's on that front. Mo Salah, he's obviously scored 2 goals. He's an obvious one. You should always pretty much have him in your team. So that's an obvious hit list one for you there. And then what I'm thinking at the moment is most people in the game got Mo Salah. I think he's got a very high sort of percentage team selected by. I think it's way over sort of 50%. A few maybe took him out, but a guy who's got a ridiculously low amount of percentage at the moment and he's in great form and he's playing as the main man up the middle for Liverpool is Sadio Mane. He's scoring goals. He scored against City. He scored against United. Got an assist. I mean, if you could. They're going to play Mane and Salah pretty much every game because they're going through the title and they know they need to win up to have a chance of winning the Premier League because they need and they hope City drop a point somewhere. And those two are going to play. They're rotating the others. They're rotating the likes of Diaz and Jota and Firmino, mainly Diaz and Jota. Firmino's just not fit. So I just don't get how Mane is that, under selected, to be fair, at the moment. So I'm sure he'll start going up, but it's still,
mate, you just got to look at the template. You got to look at the template before this week. Let's just say, take away this week. How do you get Harry Kane, Son, Salah, Trent, Cancelo, James? How do you get them all in one? You just can't do it. And Mane,
you can't. You've got to make sacrifices elsewhere. And at the moment, again, we're at the business end of the season now. Not in just the Premier League, but in fantasy league. People are going to be in leagues out there, right? They're going to be in head-to-head leagues. They're going to be in just overall points leagues with their friends, with companies, whatever. There could be money on the line, even though money and everything, it's about pride as well. And having a bragging rights.
Stop lying.
Yeah,
it is everything.
But so you now got to be looking. If you're trying to catch somebody, then you need to try and do something different to what they're doing. Everyone's going to have Salah. Everyone's probably going to have Keane maybe, but you've got to be looking at the differentiators now. And this is where actually looking at some of the stats and the data, which is not something I'm massive on doing myself, but team selected by. If someone's like Sadio Mane is like on 2-3% of team selected by, then there's a very strong likelihood that people in your league haven't got him. Okay, so you got to be thinking then, right? What do I need to do to get him in? The guy's scoring goals, he's scoring points. Liverpool have got, they're gonna have they're gonna have 2. Well, they've definitely got 1 double game week, haven't they? Game week 36. And I think the Southampton game's to be confirmed, but that'll probably go into game week 37 now, I would expect. If not, they'll have a double game week somewhere else. Liverpool are scoring goals for fun, and Mane and Salah are doing it. If you get them both in your team, I think it's big. If you've got, it's just something worth looking at as a differentiator. But because we're talking business end of the season now with this hit list, and it's not about going for some outrageous. It's looking at those percentages and saying, right, these players haven't got a big percentage pick rate, so let's get them in. And like I said, Werner, he's very low. He's got very low percentage pick rate. So's Mane. And these are guys who are on form. Werner's got 2 double game week, and another one in a few weeks' time. Mane's just scoring goals. So if you can have him and Salah in, they're both scoring goals most games. So there you go. So that'd be a big one for me, to be fair. If you want to do something cheap and somebody who could potentially get you some points, he seems to be getting bonus points. He's not going to score you loads of goals, but at 4.9 million, Mr. Bruno Guimaraes Rodriguez Moura at Newcastle just could be a cheaper for 4.9 million.
He did well this week, didn't he?
Yeah, he did well this week. Yeah, they've got Norwich in the next game, so it might be worth having him in just for a cheeky week and then get him out. But he could free up some money. You could take out a 6.5 million guy for him for 4.9, and then it'll help you maybe add some money in to get trying to work out getting a Mane in if you've already got some other big players. I think that's what I'm looking at the moment in terms of, you know, what I think people should be doing. And you know, in a hit list, when you're looking at players, you got to now start be not just thinking the form, but you got to be looking at, yeah, those percentages of teams are selected by to try and get you that differentiator that'll help you catch up somebody who's 20 points ahead of you in the game week. You know, if you're at top and you're 50, 60 points clear, don't take the gamble, obviously. You know, no point, you don't need to, you know, but let them take the gamble, because those gambles are gambles. I'm not saying that they're not, that keep things solid that way, but there's plenty of things out there in the hit list that you should be doing. Obviously, Spurs will get back into form. They had a blip at the weekend. I can't see that blip, you know, being a consistent one. You know, Arsenal again today, Saka's come back and scored some points. I'm sure a lot of people will probably thinking this is his last game week for me, but he's got a goal, he's got an assist, and you know, he's probably going to get some bonus points there. All of a sudden, people will be keeping him back in, especially, you know, with the fact that, you know, Arsenal will play Man United next week, and everyone knows they're conceding goals for fun. So there you go.
Mate, that's a good hit list. And to be honest, every single person you said, I agree with in one sense or another, but it also made me feel very guilty that I didn't put out a proper hit list this week. So
Yeah,
forgive me, guys, but good work, mates. Good work, State. You've recovered this section for me. Thank you very much for that.
No, it's okay, but I'm here to help. Here to help.
Lovely stuff. Well, there's a lot of people who also, you know, need your help, and definitely I'm probably one of them, in the North versus South mini league. So this is a league full of characters who have given us joy all throughout the season. We've pretty much mentioned every single one of them. Some of them, you know, more times than others. But the fact is that one way or the other, I'm pretty sure that we'll find a story to tell for this week. So, yeah, the mini league is around 31 players in it. We've got a couple at the bottom who obviously have forgotten all about fantasy football, and apparently life, you know, is more important, apparently. But then we've got one guy who's absolutely rocking and rolling and heading for bigger things, and then a few people behind them just trying to catch him. So, State, who's taken your eye this week from our mini league?
Well, Heath, people who've taken my eye this week, let's see. Well, our man from our pie chart group, Ashton Horner, he's on a big 86 points at the moment. He took a 8-point hit. He made 4 transfers this game week. So he brought in Stan Greenwood from Leeds, which is obviously just a cheaper to make room for elsewhere. He brought in Ronaldo, Mahrez, and Laporte. Took out Doherty, De Bruyne, Weghorst, and Cuccio. So he obviously had an insight to Ronaldo's mindset of getting a hat-trick this weekend. I know he's a Man United fan. He made him captain as well. I'm sure he probably wasn't anticipating the terrible news that Ronaldo received, obviously, and he's been dealing with in his personal life, which obviously I'm sure everyone wishes him and his family, obviously, their sympathies and best wishes. But Ronaldo bagged an hat-trick at the weekend, so Ashton obviously knew that game week of the month for Ronaldo, because that's what he seems to be doing. If you look at his point hauls, he seems to be doing one a month where he scores big. Then he doesn't do too much. Then he'll score, get his one a month in. And Ashton obviously knew that this was his one for April. To go alongside having Laporte, who's got a clean sheet, Mahrez playing, he's got 11 points so far. I think he'll end up with some bonus points, Mahrez. Salah in his team. He'll probably been hoping for more from Spurs, obviously. But yeah, he's having a good week there with 86 points, you know, which is a big haul from him. Our man, Bradley Utteridge, I'll say your name now, Brad, because you're that low down in the league. I have no issues with that. I only didn't want to say his name when he was doing well, but he's having a good week. He's on 83 so far. He'll have been upset that Thiago Silva didn't play today. Oh no, I think he got 45 today, the Thiago. But yeah, he's still got Weghorst and Brozier to play again, so he could see himself getting a few more there. But again, good haul from Brad. Towards the top of the table, business end. So top of the league with Crucible FC. He's got 65 points this week as Kevin Bernard. His lead was like over 100 about 2 or 3 weeks back, and now it's down to like 59. So Connor Tobin's just slowly pulling him back. I think he needs to pull him back a bit quicker if he wants to get, a chance of that top spot. Connor's on a 70-point haul at the moment as well. But, those two top. And then our man, John Rogerson, Betty Swallocks FC, he's on 52-point week. Not great for him. He was banking on Chelsea. I think he had Rudiger and Thiago Silva in his team. He captained Keane as well. So not a good week for him.
Quite a few Kane captains up the top, wasn't there?
Yeah, there is. Yeah, down the bottom we have some low scores, but bottom of the table, Nick Edwards, El Badger Poopers, he's on 58 points,
and he hasn't made any transfers.
Yeah,
all the Reds have come back, and
he's got 58 points. I mean, Lukaku is captain; he's getting him a big 2 points, but then he's got Souček 10 points, Mahrez 11, Salah 19, Cancelo 6, Loughton at Burnley 6, and still a game to play. He could be looking at a 60-point haul if Loughton gets a couple of points.
Got a couple of points from me. Even got a couple of points from Delph.
Well, yeah, I mean, Delph's, if you've noticed, he's started the last 2 games for Everton, and I suppose Frank Lampard knows what he's getting with Delph. He's an experienced professional. He works hard. He'll graft, and fair enough. But yeah, well done, El Badger. He's even battered you this week, Heath, and he's still got Mason Greenwood in his squad. That's the only thing that we really dislike about you, mate. You cannot have that man in your squad. It's just not right. Okay, get him out. But if you're not looking at your team, I suppose fair enough. High Tech FC, they're on 27 points. They were second bottom. They're now under some pressure coming from the El Badger Poopers. The United Division.org, big 17 points from them. Again, I mean, I don't think they touched their team this week or at the moment because there's a lot of Reds in there. Also down at the bottom, my man Harrison Copley, Ned Stark's my dad. He's got a 45-point haul, so today's gone well for him with Mahrez getting some points and a few others. So good man, Ned. Heathy, obviously you've got a red arrow in the league. 24 points.
Ashton's gone above me, innit?
Yeah, I mean you're up to 31 now. In terms of myself, I'm now up to a 70-point haul at the moment, so that's good for me. And hopefully, Mr. Cornett can get a couple of points at least tomorrow to get me up to a 72. And maybe, never know, might get some bonus points coming from City. I don't know who's sort of down for them just yet. I think Mahrez and Foden are getting them, but De Bruyne did get an assist for the 3rd goal. So thank you, Kevin, for giving me a nice 6-point haul there. But yeah, so it's good. The good thing that's coming up though now, Heath, the North versus South League Cup will be starting in game week 34. So in terms of if you win our cup, you will not necessarily get anything in terms of a financial or extrinsic award. You will get invited to come on and give a speech on our podcast at the end of the season. That is your reward. If you see it as a reward, that's up to you. So yeah, that's the reward, Heathy. I hope I win.
Or the only merchandise in the North versus South FPL podcast that has been released and is officially out there. It's currently fading really poorly in the wash.
We have got a t-shirt. Yeah, we can send you a t-shirt.
It did have like the logo. It did mention North versus South podcast. It did mention FPL_Southerner, the old Twitter name. But the fact is that it's almost turned into a white t-shirt, really, because the branding has been poorly put on by whoever made it. So maybe we'll kind of find some kind of merchandise and
a t-shirt
and give it to the winner or something like that. We'll definitely find some kind of prize. Let's be honest, we're not tight asses.
I am. I'm from up north.
I'm glad you said it, mate.
Yeah. No, he's trying to get us into some financial debt as a podcast, whereas I'm more realistic, and I think my prize offering was far better. Someone could come on. We'll give you fantasy team. Yeah,
we've got a couple of boats. We've got a couple of speed boats for the eventual winner. And ultimately, if you do lose, then it will go down as look at what you could have won. But we'll get to that fun. I guess maybe we'll see how that goes. But we'll definitely have something for the winner for sure.
But we'll update on that. So yeah, game week 34 is the cup. See who you get drawn against at the end of this game week. So fingers crossed I get a bye in the first round. Watch me and you get drawn against each other. That'll just be shocking.
Oh man, it'd be so funny. The thing about it is that surely I don't even know how they're going to work it out. Like you would imagine that the top first is the bottom, so that.
No, it's each team will be randomly drawn against another unless
Oh
they
really?
buy. So
This is the first time they've done this really for.
Yeah, it is for like individual leagues. Obviously, if you had more teams in your league, you'd have started your game week earlier. But given our amount of teams in our league, there you go. So yeah, now I'm looking forward to that. Something else to play for, and but again, as always, everyone, thank you for everyone who joined our North versus South League. We've got 31 people, which is amazing. Thank you, and hopefully you continue to put your teams in, and hopefully as well for next season. So yeah,
agreed.
That now moves us on to something else that's of interest, and something that we've done a few of this so far is the FPL podcast review that we've been doing, and this week's podcast we are reviewing the FPL Juice podcast. Heath, take it away. What are your thoughts on FPL Juice?
Well, this podcast, if you didn't know already, is the only studio-based podcast relating to fantasy football or FPL. And it felt like I was genuinely listening to a professional like radio station with, two very natural and very like warm presenters who you just feel like as soon as you start listening to this podcast, you feel like you're a part of it. I was away this weekend. My plan was I was going to listen to this podcast and like listen to 2 or 3 episodes. That's what we normally do. We listen to about 2, maybe 3, 4 episodes, get a real good idea of this, and see how we feel about whatever podcast we review. But unfortunately, it didn't for some reason download. So I was on the flight and I couldn't listen to it, but I was able to listen to it today. And I only really listened to one, maybe a 1.5. The one that I listened to was, I think it was maybe a couple of episodes back. They had a very kind of like well-known character within the FPL community, FPL Nima, on there. He's a very chilled, very knowledgeable guest. Like it was almost like he was a presenter, to be honest, because he just kind of fit in so well with the other 2 guys who host the podcast. But just like personally, I felt like the 3 podcasts we listened to before, we've liked all 3 of them for different reasons. We've had some constructive criticism for a few of them, but they've all there's been something not quite there with all of them. Like they've all had their moments and they've all kind of done something, and we've all had something to say about them in a good way. But I would say this is the most complete podcast I've listened to. And to be honest, like I've listened to, Who Got the Assist and FPL Scout and the FPL Generals podcast and a few others over the years. And this one, I'm literally kicking myself thinking, why is it taking me this long to listen to this? Because it's absolutely brilliant. I really enjoyed it. What did you think, mate?
Yeah, no, I mean, I couldn't agree more with you, to be fair. Like, we've always been sort of a little bit concerned about our podcast. Is it too long sometimes? And, there's like a good hour and a half, a lot of theirs, but it don't feel like that. You just enjoy listening to it. There's some great banter, great rapport building, some great topics in there. I like the different things that they do and bring into it. I've obviously I listened to the one that they recorded actually live yesterday. Yeah, it was really good, to be fair. Opening music, a bit of opening music in there, which I think set a good tone as well for them. In the episode yesterday, Barry Bonds, guys, this is my only question. There was like, I think it was Ash who said who's Barry Bonds. Well, I think Nick said, oh, well, it's about a Kanye West song, which was a topic later on in the podcast, which was interesting. I'm not a Kanye West fan either, so yeah, don't be doing that. But Barry Bonds is actually a baseball great. He's a man who hits home runs, so you should have known that, guys. Branch your sporting knowledge out. Come on, that's my only dig about you. I'm to be fair. But no, on a serious note, really good. I liked it. Very engaging. You know, they use the stats still. They use data and, you know, sort of give you things, but they also give you your honest opinion. You know, these aren't guys who were turning around saying, "Oh, listen to us. We're in the top 500 of the game every year," or anything like that. I think it was Ash who was like, you know, he's in the top 700,000 now after a nightmare start to the game. Or was it Nick? I can't remember which on the latest one, but you know, it's good to see these are guys who play FPL. You know, they're giving you their ideas, and you know, I like that about it. And yeah, the report were fantastic. Taking piss out of James as well, who's the I think he's the producer, you know, in the background, doing stuff in terms of the sound, the music for their intros into the special things. I mean, they did an agent, you know, what was the agent pick for this game, next coming game week. I just liked it. You know, some great ideas in there, and it flowed really well. And like I said, I think a good podcast is one where you listen to it, doesn't matter how long for, and you know, at the end of it, you're like, wow, has that you know, has that been that long? You know, if you feel like that, you've always had a good listen.
Yeah, totally, mate. Totally. I felt like there was quite a few interesting kind of like sections that he put out there. I mean, I felt that this season, when we've been recording our podcast, I felt that we've tried to bring new things into our podcast and tried to be imaginative. But to be honest, like to compete with someone like FPL Juice is like it is literally a game. It's men against boys, and the fact is that when it came down to it, I really enjoyed the features they had. The features they had on the week that I listened to it was they had Guess the Player, which is a really good shout, which is kind of like a Guess Who section. But it really does kind of, you know, the whole idea is that you can only ask a question and they can only answer yes, no, or half. And I believe that the person who was Raheem Sterling. The guy got to Man City midfielder English and he just couldn't get it at all. But the fact is, obviously, that there's a discrepancy around the fact that Sterling's a midfielder in the game, but forward. But anyway, the whole thing it was like, it's such an easy concept. And it is when you find those easy concepts. The other one was they had like a prank call section, which, to be honest, when they said that was coming,
they did that as well. They didn't answer this time because I think they tried the same one again. And
it might have been the one
slating about it. Yeah, you've not done your research here. You're just calling the same number every time. No, that's it.
I'll be honest. When I heard prank calling, I just thought, oh god, like that's been done before. But it worked. They called up some, you know, restaurant and they're basically trying to ask whether they should pick Salah or Kane as captain that week, and the guy was just like, "Yeah, no salad for you on Saturday." Okay, acknowledged. I'll, and obviously that kind of came as like, you know, it creates something that realistically you and I as listeners probably wouldn't think to do, because why would we? But it's something simple. Last thing I really liked, I think you were mentioning it a minute ago, because I definitely saw the tweet about Kanye West and punditry, which was basically they do like puns on certain footballers' names.
Kanye, it was the one I listened to yesterday, a Kanye West pun one.
By the way, Kanye West is an absolute genius, by the way. I just want to point out, even though he's dislikable character, he's a genius. I'm just gonna put that out there.
That's fine. I disagree with you.
On the week that I was listening to, it was all about watches. I think the one that won was Emil Smith Rolex, which is good, but Maurizio Pochettino, I mean, how that didn't win, I do not know. I guess that is one criticism. I mean, that really should have nailed it that week. The second criticism actually is there's definitely, I think Ash is a Luton boy by the sounds of it, wasn't afraid to bring Watford down, and therefore obviously that's quite a big negative. But on a positive, they were very pro Southern, because and they were very so going back to the seriousness of this again. The FPL community is an interesting community, but it's something that's grown over the years, and definitely something that I think that the reason why there's a lot of FPL content out there now is because of the community and because that there's been something there. Now, during lockdown and all that kind of stuff, people wanted to meet up, they wanted to do things, and set up events and stuff, but it just didn't really quite
Yeah,
work out.
they're
But
involved in some, aren't they now? So,
yeah, they were basically, you could tell that FPL Juice were right in the middle of promoting the FPL community. Every single thing that seems to be happening there, they're either there or they're helping or they're setting something up. They're involved with the Fantasy Football Fest.
they're doing a North-South game as well.
That's
for
right.
charity.
The game week 39.
I mean,
Yeah.
If North needs some players next time they do that, let me know. Yeah, I'm in.
I think
you don't want Heath in. Don't want Heath in. He used to be a centre forward, and now he's a makeshift centre half. But yeah.
Actually, that's a good question. So if you were last minute, you could actually make it. Someone calls you up. Our content has gone global, and they say, "All right, State, you're in the northern team. Heath, you're in the southern team. How much would you be worth? How much would I be worth?"
Well, I'm probably gonna be like, yeah. I'm not given my age now, but I suppose it depends on the age of these lads we're playing against. If I'm playing fullback, I'm no longer your Trent and your Cancelo. I'll be more like a Gary Neville type, not venturing forward too much, but pretty good on the ball and pretty solid at the back. So I'm probably going to be worth only about 5 million now, to be fair. If you'd asked me that 10 years ago, I'd have been a 7 million Trent lad, maybe. But yeah.
I was thinking more Armate, like a 3.7 million.
For you, yeah. I'd rather you be my man from Norwich. I'm over Delassie, 3 point,
Oh yeah, I forgot about that guy. I thought that guy was going to be a sensation this year.
Yeah.
Trying to get you to say it every week, but quite phased out, right?
I don't think I got it right then either. So, but no, I mean, yeah, they are involved massively with the community, and I think Fest is happening this week as well. So I think that's a great thing that's out there. Hopefully in future we can attend some of the FPL sort of community events as well, which would be great to meet with people from other podcasts and that. But yeah, these guys are on a different level. The fact they do it all live as well is fantastic. I love that. I love the live feed thing that they've got going on as well. It was Green Arrow. They also did it live, didn't they? And had a live feed. Who were the first ones that we reviewed, and I do like that sort of that thing. It's obviously, yeah, got to make sure you're organised as well without sounding sort of too organised, if you get me. And I think they succeed with that. It, like I said, it flows well. They know what they're getting onto, and they do different things. So yeah, really, really impressed with it at this moment in time. This one's probably the one that I'll probably rank the highest in overall. It's no disrespect to the other ones, but I just think that it was very enjoyable.
Nice. Okay, well, I guess I have to ask the question. So, what would you personally rate the podcast out of 10?
I'm going to give it a 9, which is a high score. 9. I'm very rarely going to find someone that's probably a 10, but because only I'm a 10, and I'm not going to rank anyone as at my level, so that's not going to happen. But now, on a serious note, 9 out of 10 for me. Really good content. Good energy, good sort of laughter in there as well, and they know a bit about football. The Southerners, no one's perfect. They don't know who Barry Bonds is. Again, not ideal. Let's give a bit more, credit to the Northern sides, please, next time. But very good.
And would you recommend it?
Definitely. I think it covers for all types of FPL players, from your beginners to your sort of, your people who play it but maybe don't, go into it, to your people who do like your stats and everything. I think it's a good one to have in there on the sort of, because yeah, they talk about stats and stuff in there, but they're not completely drawn in by the full data. So I think it gives people that little bit of a different sort of side to the podcast, where they're very big on the sort of data, and the knowledge is on that side of things. So I think it's good because it sort of dabbles in all of them, and I think it just can hit the mark for all types of FPL players, from the loosely played to the avid players.
Nice. And last question is, would you listen to it again?
Yeah, definitely. I think I'm definitely going to be listening to it again. I would like to try and catch a live one, but the only evenings when I have free are the ones when we're doing ours, to be fair. So it probably I don't get that chance, but yeah, I'll definitely give it some more listens, I think.
Nice.
How about yourself? What are you ranking this one at then out of 10, Heath?
Honestly, mate, like when we kind of looked into doing this is exactly what I hoped our podcast could be like. It's like almost like imagining kind of like it's so strange sometimes when you see something that you imagine, but it wasn't, we've definitely not got anywhere near this, like anywhere near it. But like the fact is that what I really like about this podcast is that they've got FPL as their kind of like main niche here, but they've got a hell of a lot of stupid shit going on relating around FPL, a lot of inside FPL banter, a lot of jokes around players that probably some people have never heard about, something like Lord Lundstrom or something like that no one outside of FPL would really care or know too much about. But they've nailed it. It's naturally there. And I would recommend this. I would rate this podcast similar to yourself. I tell you what, in fact, just out of principle, I'm going to give it a 9.5 out of 10, just because, I feel like it deserves to be as close to 10 as possible. But as I said, that one of the guys Luton, so it can't be a 10.
No,
but
definitely
9.5 without a doubt, because I don't know, like, again, the whole thing about it is that you are kind of thinking to yourself, what really do you want from an FPL podcast? And when I've listened to these previous ones that we've listened to recently, I've been so impressed with the content they're providing. But have I been as entertained as I was for this one? Not really. I mean, Big at the Back, probably a little bit more, but FPL Juice, I think it's safe to say that if anyone who's done these other podcasts that we've listened to this FPL Juice, I'm sure they would humbly put their hands up and say, like, we can't get close to that kind of level that they're kind of offering. So, and good luck to FPL Juice. I hope they keep going and they keep evolving this, because it's really good material. But yeah, so this now leads on to our game week preview. It's simple. I said it last week. One bad game week and you're in a bit of trouble, but two and it could be season over. So State, please don't win next week. Think about the listeners.
Think about the listeners. Sorry, listeners, but balls to the listeners, Heath. I'm here to win. Yeah. I'm here to make some dents. So no, I'm not gonna listen. It's a game week where there's just Man United and Chelsea both have two games, obviously each. Man United play Arsenal, Chelsea play West Ham, and then United and Chelsea play each other on the Thursday. So not a crazy game week with lots of teams doing it. Obviously, Chelsea might be a bit more popular to getting players in, but I can't pick Chelsea players. In terms of my team, obviously, I've got my six from Liverpool and City. I know they've got Champions League in the midweek game, but given the fact they're playing for the title, I think the big boys will still start all the games, and then they'll look to hopefully have a lead and then start bringing them off, So Ederson will be in goal. Cancelo, Trent, Van Dijk will still be playing. Cancelo's probably my only potential sort of, not thought of taking him out, but I think he's the one most at risk of getting rested if anyone will do. But I think Kyle Walker's still carrying a bit of a knock, so I don't think he'll do that. I think Cancelo will still play this weekend. And I think Trent and Van Dijk will definitely play. They're playing Everton, so Liverpool know that's a ferocious one. Everton will bring more to the table than what they've been bringing in that derby, because they know it's heated. So, and they don't play the Champions League game till Wednesday. So, and I think Klopp will give this his full attention as well. City are playing Watford, so he might change things out a bit. The likes of Sterling might play, but I think Kevin De Bruyne may still start the game and then probably get brought off early doors once the 3-0 up by half time, which they probably will be against your boys. No offense.
Half time, mate. I'll tell you what, we should be so lucky. It'll be 3-0 within 10 minutes, mate. Have you seen us play against City?
Well, no, I know that. I know the
Bloodbath,
history
mate.
in the form's
Bloodbath.
not good. Not good. So yeah, I mean, I'm torn about where I make my transfers because, like, I've got Cornet, Addison, De Bruyne, Salah, Gordon, St. Maximin, Pookie, Connor Cody will be back because Wolves will have a game. Um, I'm I'm considering for this game week to to not make any changes. I'm not keen on United, to be fair. I don't think anyone's really keen on United. The only person people might want to bring in is Ronaldo if they've got the money to bring Ronaldo in. I don't have the money to bring Ronaldo in unless I got rid of Salah or De Bruyne, and I don't want to do that. And you just don't know whether Ronaldo will play this week either. I mean, you don't know how long he might take out. Obviously some of that that's happened to him. So I think I may just run my squad through this week, and then have a 2 transfer for the following game week because we do start. Although game week 35 is just a single one for all teams, game week 36 we're starting to see double headers. So I think I might take 2 transfers through to the next game week and then make a couple of moves to sort of get some things in place for the double game weeks in 36 and I think 37 as well. So we'll be having double game weeks. So yeah, that's my plan, is to stay true. I think I'll probably bring in Connor Cody for Anthony Gordon for sure. I mean, the only person I'd probably think about bringing out is Cornet, maybe. I think Maddison will play against Villa because they're playing on they're playing that game, on the Sunday lunch at 2ish, and they're not playing then until Europe until Thursday. Actually, no. No, sorry, not that game week. Leicester are playing on Saturday, so I think Maddison will play that game, and with them not playing on until Thursday. Yeah.
Nice, mate. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's good shout, and I obviously hope you have a stinker this week.
Yeah, thank you.
That's
Yeah.
This week I'm going to be rogue again. I'm going to bring in Mane, I'm going to bring in Salah, and I'm going to bring in De Bruyne, and I'm just going to keep bringing them in because I need something. No, I'm joking. I'm thinking
You're going to Chelsea. You're going to get a third one in from Chelsea. Yeah. Werner, Mount.
Exactly. I'm thinking Werner in, and I'm thinking Lacazette out. I'm thinking Kulusevski back in for. It depends if I can afford it. Actually, I don't know if I can afford it. I might be able to. Let's have a look. Can I afford it? Kulusevski in for Eriksen, Lacazette. Oh, I can just afford it for Werner. So I could afford. I might have to do it.
4-point hit, but yeah, could be worth it.
I can't do that actually because
you got to take Doherty out, haven't you? You got to take Doherty out, so you're gonna have to make 3 then, aren't you? And that's an 8-point hit. So you're then starting to think. I mean, you've got a problem, Heath, because you've got Doherty in the red. Digne is not likely to be playing for a few more weeks, and it's they're both
got too many fires, mate. Is there too many fires going on in this team?
Well, there's that's a you problem, not me problem. At the end of the day, mate,
you can help though if you want. You really can.
How can I help you? What do you want me to do?
How about we swap teams? No, I guess what I have to do is I might have to kind of Kulusevski might have to do one. I mean, he only made 63 minutes against Brighton, so maybe he's just he's lost his confidence. So maybe I'll just bring in Werner, and then maybe I'll just take it just to bring one player in. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, to be honest, like the way I see it is that I don't really want to play Eriksen and Tony against Spurs. I think I'll probably play just Tony. Yeah, I'll probably just sit on the one transfer and hope that. I mean, Brentford have been obviously very good recently, so Spurs may do well against them, but will they smash them? Maybe not. Who knows? But yeah, we'll see. So at the moment, I'm looking at.
Werner's the one for me. Get Lacazette out and bring Werner in.
Yeah. I think that's the common sense move, isn't it? But who plays with their common sense? That's boring.
Well, your option try to get Mount in or gamble on a 3-man Chelsea defense.
That would be
if you can predict the three they're going to play for both games, which I don't think you'll be able. It won't be the same three.
You can't play Azpilicueta at right wing back now. Surely he's going to have to go back to Reece James at right wing back and have
Played
a bit
him
of
there
fun
today and he scored. There you go.
Yeah, but they lost 4-2. Terrible defense.
I'm pissed off. I know. I don't get why he played Azpilicueta as the right wing back and James as the right centre half. I mean, he's played James as the right centre half a few times now, and they're not keeping clean sheets in those games. And he gives them more going forward, gets them more on the offensive, which makes them defensively stronger because on the offensive more. So yeah, I agree.
Yeah, so I've got Martinez in goal. I think Foster is warmly, safely on the bench, warming the bench. Rudiger and James will obviously start. They better start, but they'll be starting for me for sure. Walker Peters, the man on form, he'll be starting. And then, like I say, I probably will bring in someone like Werner. I suppose I could potentially bring in Mount. I don't know. And then it'll be either Eriksen or Tony will be on the bench. Like I said, we'll get the transfer out probably, or Eriksen will be transferred out. Saka will start. Son will start. I'm potentially going to captain Son. I think I know Chelsea got double, but you can't trust Tuchel at the moment. Bowen, yeah, I think I'll probably give him a chance in the starting lineup. I know he's playing Chelsea, but they've just conceded 4 against Arsenal. So Ward-Prowse, the guy's got a great set of fixtures coming up, so he's going to start. And like I say, the Tony Eriksen one, I'm not too sure, one, but not both. And then Kane and maybe Werner with the last one. Doherty and Luka Din will probably carry on in the fitness room. Yeah, because they're both injured. I've still got a triple captain to play. Actually, I've just realised. Have you got any chips left?
I've got bench boost to play. I have. So
nice.
So I've got something there to be flirting with. I'm not in a position at the moment to play my bench boost because
I've just realised if you and I get each other in the cup, then
you just got triple captain.
Well, you'd have to, wouldn't you? Just to knock the other one out of the cup.
Yeah, true. Plus, because it's double whammy. If you knock me out of the cup, it means you've won the league game as well. So
exactly,
it's one of those that I think. Do you save are you going to use your triple captain for Chelsea this game week, or are you going to wait because Chelsea do have another double game week coming up, or are you not going to do it on a double game week? I suppose.
No, I'm definitely going to wait. I'm going to see. Basically, I'm waiting for Spurs to hit some kind of form again, show that was a blip against Brighton.
The problem with Spurs is their double game week they've got is when they play Liverpool and Arsenal.
Yeah.
I mean, though I think, I fancy Spurs to do stuff against Liverpool. They were very good against them earlier in the season, hitting them on the break. They know where the gaps are with Liverpool, and they've got players who can put the ball in that space and the pace. But then again, are Liverpool going to give them that chance? Who knows?
Well, we'll see. I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing where we are this time next week. Hopefully, I've clawed it back and we're back on even points, because I honestly 6 points with what 5? Is it 5? It'll be 4 game weeks to go.
Yeah.
Really,
I think it'll be a close one.
Yeah. So we'll see how it goes. But
it'll be a close one.
So do you think it'll be close?
Next game week? Probably not. As long as my Man City and Liverpool players play, I think you've got a big ask. You need Spurs to do stuff for you. Definitely need Keane and Son to turn up this week.
Agreed.
If they don't, you've got problems. Although if you've got the right Chelsea players in and they play both games, then again they can be a differential for you and really make it good for you.
Hopefully, fingers crossed, mate. Well, we'll never know. We'll see, and we'll see how it goes. But yeah, it's as usual the highlight of the week, without a doubt, and it's been an absolute pleasure. Obviously, we would like to shout out FPL Juice for a great podcast, because again, like I said, I don't think we've given them enough credit on this podcast. So obviously go follow them, go subscribe and listen to them. We'd also want to give another shout out, like we did last week, to Big at the Back. Great podcast, up and coming podcast, very, very new to the FPL community, but really liking what we're listening to. They gave us a little bit of a shout out themselves last week with your quiz, mate, with the assists and goal quiz, which went down really, really well, and really enjoyed that. So yeah, go give Big at the Back a listen to if you haven't already. Give them a like and subscribe, etc., etc. And then, you know, if you're bored and you want to have a little chat, or if you want advice, or you just want to talk about the weather, State and I are there. We're on Twitter. We've also got the North versus South handle. So that's at FPL MVS. State is at FPL_Northerner. And I'm at FPL Southerner. And like I say, our DMs are open. We are happy to chat to anyone. Had some really good conversations recently with the FPL community. And to be honest, I've got to a point now where, you know, I'm not as busy as I was maybe a couple of months ago. So I've got a chance now to actually start talking to people. And to be honest, it's a great community. Really enjoyed the banter with some people. Keep up the good work, guys. And like I say, if you want to have a chat with State and I, then we're always willing to listen. Also, give a little shout out to our WhatsApp group as well. The pie chat group as well. That's been going really strong. There's a lot of banter going on there. Unfortunately, it's hard to keep up with that one because every time I come back to it, there's about 100 messages on there, which is great to see. The guys in there are great guys.
Yeah. And if you want in on that group, just give us a shout on Twitter, because we're admin in that group as well, so we can
get you involved,
people in, and they're just happy to let anyone in that group. People who want to chat, and people, they don't just do FPL. These people, that some of them do the Dream Team as well, and Sky Sports. So there's bits of everything on there. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and also just to add to that as well, there's fans from all sorts of teams, like Derby County, Newcastle, Nottingham Forest. It's not just the big teams, but you'd also have like the bigger teams in there as well. So it's a good bunch of guys and girls, and the fact is that when it comes down to it, realistically, all we're doing is talking about football, and it's been very, very pleasant group that we've been involved in. So yeah, I'd highly recommend that. And like State says, if you want to get involved, just let us know, and we'll add you in. Because to be honest, it's getting to the end of the season now, mate, and we're not going to have this soon, so got to make the most of it while it's here. The season's going to end soon, and then it will just be all about the. I don't even know what's going to happen this summer. To be honest, there's nothing going on, is there? World Cups in the winter, so
bugger all. It's going to be crap. Going to be boring. We're going to have to do a podcast about, well, don't know, about our lives.
No, mate. I tell you, Nazca, mate. Nazca and Team of the Past. The Team of the Past.
Team of the Past. Yeah, could do a sport movies review as well. Yeah, I want to do that. Let's get.
Mate, there's so much we could do. Let's just steal FPL Juice's ideas and turn our podcast into a franchise. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. We're not talking about Kanye West though. Balls to that. Fuck him. No chance.
That's the podcast, guys. Hope you've enjoyed it. We will be back every single week until the season finishes. And once the season's finished, I'm sure we can give you some more
specials.
Yeah, something out there. I don't know exactly what we're going to give you, but we'll find something. Anyway, good luck in this game week, and we'll see you next week.
Bye. All the best, everyone.